Well, hi there, food friends. Welcome to Cavalcade of Food.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Ralph.
And you know what? We are here cooking in the new kitchen, coming to you from the beautiful Cavalcade studio in Croswell, Michigan. So, those of you who have been following along, it's taken a while, but we're finally at a place where I said to Ralph, you know what, I think we can actually cook something in this kitchen, so let's try. We'll do some behind the scenes, give you more of a tour of the place at another time, but for right now we just wanted to get back to doing what we really love, and that's making food.
And Marianne and I are hungry, so let's get cooking.
So you know what, Ralph, we're going to do something that's relatively simple and straightforward, yet is a really delicious dish, especially this is a very cold and snowy Michigan winter's night. We're going to make beef stroganoff.
Ooh, yum.
Okay? So you can't make beef stroganoff
without beef.
So we're going to start with that. Now, I've got a couple of sirloin steaks, and believe it or not, I actually put them here in the freezer for maybe about 45 minutes. And here's why. I didn't want to freeze them, but I wanted to firm them up a little bit. Because you know what, Ralph? We are going to cut these steaks very thin into thin strips. And whenever you're cutting meat and you want to slice it thinly, it helps to have a really sharp knife. And if you just firm the meat up a little bit, it makes it easier to cut. Okay? So what I want to do is I'm kind of looking at the beef here, and I'm getting an idea of where the grain is, and I want to kind of cut it against the grain of the meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start slicing it like this into thin strips.
So this beef is somewhere between frozen and thawed?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not hard at all. It hasn't gotten that far.
Not like an iceberg.
But it's just gotten firmed.
Got it.
Okay? Just from being in the freezer for almost an hour.
And did you say what kind of meat it is?
This is a sirloin. These are sirloin steaks.
Fun.
Okay. So I actually, maybe I'm going to cut this a little bit in half here, because I don't want these strips too big. Too long, I should say.
But I see how you're kind of working with the, what did you call it? Not the grain.
The grain.
Is it
the grain of the meat. Yeah, you get it right.
Even though it's not wood, it's meat.
It's not, but like,
it's kind
if you look at the cutting board, you can see how the grain goes.
Right, but with meat, it's like the sinew and the things that kind of hold the meat together, right?
Right, so when you cut across the grain, then you cut through sort of those connective tissues,
right,
and that helps keep the meat tender.
Got it.
So what I'm going to keep doing is cutting it in some strips like this, all right? Okay, Ralph, we're going to put in some steak here. By the way, this was 1.5 pounds, in case anybody's wondering how much sirloin steak I sliced up, 1.5 pounds.
Kevin's got the sizzle and the steak. So, did you season it at all?
I haven't yet. No, I'm going to get it into the pan here.
Just to brown it.
This has got about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Let me turn this down.
Into a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, you can use any big skillet. This is the biggest skillet I have here, so this is what I'm using. I'm going to end up doing this maybe in 2 batches.
But there's so much.
I don't want to get the pan crowded up. So you know what? We're going to put in a little salt. And we're going to put in a little pepper. So the reason why you want to cook this thin is because it will cook relatively quickly. You know, it's kind of like stir fry and other things that you cook quick, that brown quickly.
So are you cooking it or just browning it?
No, we're going to cook it. It'll brown, but we want to really cook it because we don't have to cook it all the way, but we want to cook it most of the way. All right, because it's going to simmer just for a little bit once we have the other ingredients in there. So I'm going to work on this batch, and then I'll get the next batch in, and then we'll come back and we'll end up cooking up the onion and the mushroom, which is also part of the dish.
Back in the day, beef stroganoff was just everywhere. It was one of those dishes that our moms made, and we just loved it. And nowadays, you don't really hear about it as much, do you?
You really don't. It's but it is a classic kind of comfort food dish, and it was there was a time when it was really popular. So I have browned both batches of meat, and I'm taking this out, and I'm going to put it in here.
Something tells me you're going to reuse that pan for some other fun stuff.
I am. I'm going to put this. Oh, I love this 53 Westinghouse, folks. It's got a warming drawer.
I was going to say, where did you just put that meat? That is so cool.
Yeah, it has a warming drawer, and it keeps plates warm, and it keeps things warm, and it's a nice feature. A lot of these might have had a double oven, but this one came with a warming drawer instead. So I'm going to just try to get some of that fat out of here.
It was pretty lean, though. That's why you added
a
little bit of
olive oil. Olive oil, because it was a lean meat. But I want to clean that pan. Let me get a couple of paper towels, and then we're going to put the pan right back into service here, because we want to saute our onion. That's good. If it's got a little of that beef drippings in there, all the better. So what, we're going to take a little butter here. Oh, maybe a couple tablespoons of butter, and let's melt that. And I've got, Ralph, an onion here, diced. It was a small onion. It's probably, a little short of a cup of diced onion. So
good old-fashioned yellow onion.
Yep, just a good cooking onion. And we're going to put that in here. And we're going to saute the onion. It won't take long. Dice it fine, because you want it, again, to cook relatively quickly. Put the onion in there. We'll get that going. Once this onion starts to cook and soften up, about maybe 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to add, I've got 8 ounces here, Ralph, of just a white mushroom. You could use baby portobellos or whatever you like, and we're going to add those. But I want to get these onions softened up first, okay? And then we'll come on back. All right, Ralph, take a look. Our onions have softened up. We're going to add our shrooms. Okay, again, this is 8 ounces of mushrooms, and let's take this opportunity to put in a little seasoning.
I don't know if our friends at home could have told or could have seen, but the mushrooms, actually the onions before Kevin added the mushrooms were really kind of brown, and that's from the juices of the meat.
Exactly. They picked up a lot of that wonderful
flavor,
brown butter from the meat. Okay. We're going to let this saute a little bit, and we'll come on back once these onions have cooked down a little.
This is where I would add some red wine.
You could, actually, right here, but we're going to wait just a minute, and we're going to add some beef broth.
Oh, okay. I was just kidding. That's fun.
I've got a cup of beef broth here, beef stock, and it goes. And you know what? Ralph, you had mentioned you could add red wine if you wanted to, white wine. You could do beef broth, or just any kind of liquid here. But you want to deglaze the pan a little bit.
I was going to say it serves as sort of just something to deglaze those flavors, get them back into the mix.
We're also going to put in a couple dashes of...
I call it Worcestershire. He calls it what's this
here sauce, okay? And let me turn this down a little bit. And I'm going to put in a little bit of paprika right here. Maybe a teaspoon. Okay. And we're just going to let that all come together.
That's like dried Hungarian peppers.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And it usually comes sweet or hot. This is the sweet. All right. I don't want this to reduce down too much, so you know what? I'm going to give this a cover, and then we'll come back, and we are almost done.
Yay!
We're going to serve the beef stroganoff over some nice egg noodles. Okay, so I'm going to get those in the pot here. I got a pot of boiling water, and we'll get those going. So let me bring that back up to high. Okay.
So basically, it's like pasta. You just put it in some boiling water.
Yep. And we like to put a little seasoning in the water. All right, now let's check on our. Oh yeah, isn't that beautiful? Okay, so we're going to take this all the way down to simmer. We're going to do two things here. I'm going to take it off the heat, and then I'm going to add the sour cream. Now, when you use sour cream in a dish like this, you don't ever want to boil the sour cream because it will curdle, okay? So you always just want to keep it on a low heat. Now, I'm going to put in 8 ounces of sour cream here. So that's a cup. That's this whole package, actually. I'm going to just let this sour cream melt in. Oh, let me turn my noodles down here. Give these a stir.
So, do you know, like sometimes with pasta, you put salt in the water or olive oil, or you don't do anything like that?
Never olive oil, but salt. Always salt.
I'm talking about for these egg noodles.
Yes.
Okay, but not okay.
Okay.
Look how thick that's getting and saucy.
So, you know, the sour cream will give it that nice tang. Now, what we're going to do here is let me go in and get our steak out of the warmer here.
That meat holder, that warmer.
And we are going to add the steak back in.
Oh, okay.
All right. And what you want to do is get all that juice that sort of settles, right, from the meat. All right. And we're going to stir that in. Yeah. There we go. You know, this is also a great dish to use your electric skillet, everybody. And I know I've said it before over the years that is my favorite, absolute favorite kitchen utensil.
So instead of a cast iron pan, you could put it in a skillet?
The last thing I'm going to put in is just a couple of grates of nutmeg. Okay? Not much. Just in the background. You won't even kind of know it's there. All right. There we go. So I've got this, and the meat is just going to re-warm through. It's already pretty much cooked through. All right. I'm going to let this just kind of hang out there. Put a cover on it. We'll come back with our noodles and get everything put together.
Voila.
I'm going to toast up. I'm going to make some buttered breadcrumbs, okay, to go with the noodles. So I've got some panko breadcrumbs here, which are the Japanese kind of coarse style. I'm putting them in just a dry pan. All right.
This is something that goes on top just to give it a little crunch when you're biting into it.
Yes, give it just a little crunch and that little bit of butteriness, okay? But what I want to do first is kind of just toast them in the pan. So let's let them get toasted, and then what I'm going to do is once they have a little brown, have a little color on them, I'll add some butter in there, and we'll butter them up. Look at that.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
See how nice and toasty that is? Okay, so I think it is butter time. Let's put at least a couple tablespoons of butter in there.
I'm laughing because mo butter, mo better, but you know, it just looks like anytime you add butter, it's just going to make it so much more yummy to the mouth.
Yes. So,
and this crunch thing that you're talking about for the beef stroganoff is really kind of reminiscent of what, I don't know who invented it, but adding like crunchiness to like a tuna casserole or not French onion. What do they call those onions that are kind of crunchy?
yeah, French fried onions.
With string beans and string bean casserole. So it's a nice combination of textures when you have something soft and then you add these buttery, crunchy things to the top. So kudos, hats off to whoever invented that.
I'm going to stir this around a little bit here. There. You want to kind of get that butter. Look how beautiful. And of course the breadcrumbs, you know, are just like a sponge, and they're just soaking that butter in, and they're continuing to toast. So what I'm going to do, we're going to actually get these out of the pan. I'll put them in another little dish here, and we'll have them ready to go.
You know, they went from pale to toasty.
Yeah, pale to hello.
The golden brown. So no spices or seasons, right?
No, not necessary. Okay, and the noodles are almost done. And yep, they're feeling good and soft. I'll give one a test and make sure that it's just soft enough. Oop, get in there. One more minute. Okay, we'll have our noodles ready, and then we'll have our breadcrumbs on top, and then the piece de resistance, the beef stroganoff. Our noodles are ready. We will drain these off. Got a noodle facial here.
So you're putting them in a sieve?
Putting them in a sieve. Giving them a little shake into a big bowl.
Some people say I have a mind like a steel sieve.
So here's our noodles. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our buttered crumbs.
Ooh. So that's the next step.
Yeah. Get those in there. Okay. Mix those in with the noodles.
Oh, so it's not a topping. See, I was
Not
thinking
a topping. I mean, you can.
It gives it a crunch, though.
Yeah, you want it there. Okay,
Okay.
just like that. That's
All right.
nice. All right. So now.
You should mention too that the butter was salted, so that kind of added
Yeah.
to the flavoring of the.
Yeah, I didn't feel that I
breadcrumbs.
needed to
No, but that looks great.
put any extra salt in there. We got salted
my
butter.
goodness, I see
So
what's
here's
happening
all right.
now.
So we got the noodles, like so.
And they don't call them butter noodles for
Okay.
nothing.
I mean, I would eat just that. Okay. And then
Luckily, we don't have to because we've got this delicious
now
beef to go on.
we have our beef stroganoff.
Right on top.
And you want to put that right on top. You want to make sure you get some of that beautiful.
Yeah. Who's
Gravy.
the star of the show? That beef on the stroganoff.
Now, if I had gotten to the market when I wanted to, I would have got some fresh parsley for garnish.
Yeah.
You could garnish it with a little paprika. That would be good. But we're gonna eat it au natural.
Natural.
Okay.
And if I had more time, if I was more prepared, I would have looked up the origins of beef stroganoff. Obviously Russian of some sort.
Sounds Russian, but you know, who knows?
All right, here goes the taste test.
Mmm.
Just like Mama used to make.
You know, of course you get the beef. That tang of the sour cream goes beautiful. And the mushrooms, and you know, talk about comfort food and keeping warm on a winter's night. This is it, man. Anyways, beef stroganoff, and we were glad to be able to do it from the new kitchen, and we are so glad that you were able to be part of it. We hope to see you again right here on Cavalcade of Food, because we're going to keep on cooking.
Looking forward to many more adventures in this new kitchen.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye.